Oh, I've wanted to tell y'all this for a while. As he goes into the water, tell me why I just start crying. I'm like, hey y'all, I hope everyone's doing good today. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Serena. I create faith, lifestyle, fitness, wellness, college, university, all types of videos, honestly. But for now, we're focusing on the faith-based content. For my last faith-based video, I got a lot of feedback, not directly on my video, but like from people telling me basically. They're like, oh yeah, tell your cousin, tell your friend, tell her this and this. I'm just like, y'all are watching and not commenting? Like, it's just me, bro. It's just me. Like, let me know in the comments how you feeling. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't know if it wasn't for them, and I probably don't know some of the feedback, but I'd really love to hear what you guys think. Yeah, just let me know what you think, how you feel, and everything. But yeah, so today we're doing a little personal video. Today I'm gonna be telling you guys about my journey with God, which is just like, I'm so excited. I didn't really organize. I didn't write down points. I didn't write down like things that I shouldn't skip, because I'm just like, Holy Spirit, you do your thing, because me, I don't. The story is probably gonna be all over the place. But yeah, so without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more content from me. And yeah, let's get started. So I grew up Christian, like many of us. By us, I mean most of the audience, because I feel like most of my audience is Rwandese. And is it even possible to grow up in a Rwandan household that's not Christian? Like, it's very rare, basically. So I grew up Christian, going to church. I used to actually like teach kids church. Not really teach, I'll just help out, but that's what it looked like, right? That's what it looked like to the people. Like, they'd be like, oh, you're such a good help. Oh, you love children. That's so nice. But in reality, I couldn't go to the big people's church because I would just zone out and fall asleep. So I was just like, you know what, let me go be active in the kids' church, whatever. But obviously it wasn't like, I wasn't riding with God like that. I was just going to church. Like, God was Sunday, and then every night obviously I would pray with my family. It's just a really like important tradition that still stays with me to this day. Honestly, I went to Christian schools. I went to a Christian elementary school, Noah Wellspring Academy back home. That's where I went. Would have devotions, I think, in the morning, and then sometimes would have like, yeah, I think that's all, honestly. But you know, I was familiar with the whole Christianity and whatnot, but I didn't understand the depths of it, right? So when I moved here, the first time I moved here to Canada was 2018, and then I went to an Adventist school. And then yeah, they were just so like on fire for God. That's what it looked like for me. Now I know better, but at that moment, everyone there was just like, oh my gosh, like God this, God that, like, oh yeah, I was reading my word. I was like, whoa, y'all are serious about this. Like, it's not just Sunday thing. Okay, I see how it is, you know what I mean? So yeah, and then like they obeyed the Sabbath, like Saturdays, you didn't really work. You just went to church and then had a meal and then went for a walk. Like, I loved that. I loved it so much. Like, it made me so happy. But it was like something that I never experienced before. So I was just like, this is interesting. I see. So should I become Adventist? When I tell you, I was considering becoming an SDA, like Seventh-day Adventist. If you guys don't know what a Seventh-day Adventist is, this is a definition. But there's definitely a lot more that goes into it than that. But I just loved their lifestyle. They were like healthy, vegetarian. Like, we only ate vegetarian food at our school. And then the whole idea of resting. And then they also really talked about the relationship with God, which in my Rwandan church, I never heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I the only one? Like, I really don't know. But I always used to hear things. I don't even know if I was hearing, like, whatever I was hearing, it was a relationship with God. Sometimes it was like, sow your seed. Other times it was like faith, hope, love, joy. I'm just like, Yeah, so I never heard it, but they probably preach it. But anyways, I never really understood that. But then at that Seventh-day Adventist school, they were preaching about it, and I was like, oh, this is so beautiful. And then I got to see a lot of like people my age like praising God with all their hearts. Like when I tell you, to this day, the best praise and worship I've been at was at that school. Like I'll fly out to Alberta just to go and be in that church and experience the praise and worship. It was just so beautiful. Like all those people were so talented. And yeah, so that was kind of like easing me into it. I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, this God thing is real. Like, you know what I mean? And then couple like Sabbaths, I would go and pray and I'm like, God, I want to be deep with you. I want a relationship with you. I want this, and that. And then nothing would happen. Like, I'm just like, hello. You know what I mean? So I just stopped like trying to ask for it, really. I just kept on doing my own thing. Like I kept on praying at night and going to church and whatnot, feeling like nice, like enjoying the worship, and then listening to some sermons, and it was just like, still like, okay, this is interesting. Then I moved here after when did I move here? 2021. So before then, I was back home for 1 year. I was back in Rwanda for 1 year. And when I tell you, every time I would go to church, my mind was actually like, yeah, no, we're not here. My mind would be doing the worst. Like I would be sitting in my mind times 10. I'm just like, I can't wait to go home to do this. I can't wait to la 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 la. I can't wait to just, when I tell you, yeah, I'll just be in church and I'm like, this is my place to imagine scenarios of my dream man. Like, huh? It's actually crazy because I would have rather not been in that church than be in the church, because that's all my mind went to, like naturally, literally. It was crazy. So yeah, well, that happened. Nothing really changed throughout that year, except one point I was just like, what's the point? Like I'm really not here for it, you know what I mean? But you know, stayed strong or whatever. Made my parents happy, I guess. And then eventually I moved here 2021. And then first of all, it was so random. I met this girl, Raisa, who I went to Wellspring with, the first like primary school I was telling you about. I didn't know she was gonna come to Canada, right? And then one of my friends was texting me, she was like, oh yeah, my friend actually goes there. Lo and behold, I find we're staying in the same area, like same apartment complex. I'm like, ooh, interesting. Then I was with Audrey too, and they knew each other from like back then, because obviously Rwanda. So yeah, I'm like, oh hi, what's up? Like, how have you been? Everything. So we're catching up and all that. And then Audrey and her suggest, they're like, oh yeah, we should go to church. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like obviously I'm not gonna be like no, because I don't want to be the weird one who says no. But I'm like, yeah, like, okay, yeah, you guys tell me when you find out, in hopes that they won't find a church, you know? So then Ray says like, oh, I actually know this girl, her name is Alicia, and like she can take us to church. So Alicia comes, I meet Alicia, blah, blah, blah. She takes us to this one church, and the experience was just different. Like it wasn't nice, to say the least. It was just doing too much. And then the next week she takes us to another church, which is where I got baptized, which is my current like home church now. And it was just amazing. Like it was, I'm not gonna say the first service was like, but it was like, oh, this is nice. Like I like this. Like I feel like I honestly connected with Western churches more than the churches back home. But also maybe my spirit was more awake. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. But anyways, so yeah, we go to church with Alicia, and then Alicia's like, you know, I'm actually having a Bible study at my place every Wednesday. You guys should be coming, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool, sounds cool. But then I'm just like, Bible study, me? Back to the whole bandwagon thing. If Rice and Andre are doing it, who am I to say no? So I'm just like, okay, cool, let's go. We go first time, and I'm just like, this is so weird. Second time we go, I'm just like, this is strange. And then after that too, these guys are like, in the middle of the week, they're like, oh yeah, like we're gonna go for Bible study. She's gonna come pick us up at this time. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, we're going? I think I actually said it once. I think I was like, oh, we're going again? And then they were like, yeah, like, of course. I'm like, bruh. Like, what do you mean? But obviously didn't say anything, because I'm just like, okay, whatever. And it's crazy because I had prayed. I was like, God, bring me like to a community that brings me closer to you. But when I tell you, I went to the Bible study, and then like they were praying in tongues, and they were like speaking so loud, and like it was giving African mom, but our age, like literally, I think the oldest was like 24, but our age, I'm just like, God, like I just wanted some chill Christian friends who we can take pictures with. Like, I don't even know, like this is not what I expected at all, right? Like this is overwhelming. So I'm just like, God, come on, you gotta do something. Thank you, but this is not it, right? So then over time, obviously, we'd go to Bible study, and then every time Alicia would be like, oh, what have you been reading? Like, what has God been telling you recently? And I used to do like devotions, like the ones on the Bible app. And sometimes I'll just fall off, right? And then people would have answers, and then I'm just like, this one time, right? I was just like, like I'm not even gonna make something up. I'm just like, I'm quiet. But then that pushed me that the next time she asked me, that I'll be like, oh, this is what I've actually been reading. So it pushed me to read the Bible more. And then obviously being in that Bible study grew me so much spiritually, because so many things that I didn't know were so clear then. Like we read a couple books, and it's not like we'd read and then that's it. Like we'd have conversations and like ask questions, because a few of them go to Bible college, which doesn't equal spiritual maturity, but it means obviously there's some knowledge of the word and understanding, right? So that was really helpful. That really made me understand a lot of things. And then at that time too, I lived with really, really bad roommates, guys. I feel like I've never told you this. I've wanted to tell y'all this for a while. Y'all don't know how long I've been keeping this to myself, but y'all need to know this. Oh, your girl was living with bad roommates, point blank period. I can't get in detail about it but God delivered me from that. It took me out of that. He took me out of that but I'm honestly so grateful for that situation, because it's one of the things that brought me so close to God, right? So let me explain it to you. My roommates were just disrespectful. Not all of them. Like one of them wasn't. Yeah, they were just disrespectful, and then they were dirty and irresponsible. So many things, right? And in that place, I was just like, I don't even know what to say to y'all, because we're 6 total people. I'm the only one who's seeing this. Clearly, y'all won't listen to me. And I'm not the type of person, if you don't understand something, first of all, I won't even go out of my way to explain the simplest thing. If you don't understand it, that's that. You'll understand someday. It's not my job to make you understand. So in that case, I was just like, okay, whatever. I tried to be confrontational like twice. Never works, right? So I was just, every time I'll just be like, God, please get me out of this place. Like, God, please, if you're not gonna get me out of here, at least may they know you, because once they know you, they'll see differently, because this is not right. Like, this is not cute at all. And it's so crazy, because during those times, I'll literally like be in bed, and then they're playing like loud music or something. I'm just like, God, please just turn that music down. Immediately, I tell you, that music goes down. So many little things that I would pray for would just would just immediately happen. I'm just like, okay, God, I see you. I see what you're doing. But my biggest prayer of all was just like, God, don't just take me out of here, but like, may I be able to show them your love. And also, as soon as I get out of here, may it be people who I don't just get along with, but help me grow more spiritually. Plot twist. I never expected it. Guys, I never expected it, right? Guys, like, whatever you pray for, be ready to receive what it is and more, because sometimes you're just like, hello, what do you mean? But yeah, so back to the Bible study. Before I talk about these roommates, back to the Bible study. This one time, there's this one prophet lady who came, and she wasn't like, oh, let me come to Bible study. No, she was just hanging around the house while we're having Bible study, and she was like, oh, God has a word for you and your friend, right? Or something like that. I don't remember exactly what she said, but whatever she said hit home so hard, and we both just started bawling our eyes out, which was like, huh? This is so, like, this has never happened. This has never happened before. So I just knew, I'm just like, yeah, I've been knew God is real, but this is deeper, you know what I mean? So after that, I really just went and prayed about whatever was going on. I don't remember, but like, I felt like something just, yeah, I don't understand. I don't have to explain it, right? So yeah, that whole roommate situation, every time I'll just go home and I'm just like, God, please, please. And when I tell you, it was so painful to be in that situation, because it's like, you tell your parents, they won't really do anything. They'll tell you to move out, but you don't understand. If I move out, my friends, the ones who I came with, like Audrey, Raisa, and them, then they're gonna be far away from me. But then now that I'm here, they're close. So at least I can go to their house, like chill, and then just come home to sleep. When I tell you I'll only go home to sleep and shower, actually. I'll go home to sleep and shower. I'll buy groceries with Audrey and Raisa, because no, I'm not eating in that house. Like, guys, the situation in that house, the state of that house, yeah. Yeah, but anyways, that situation taught me patience. It taught me loving people who don't even care about you. Like, I needed to go through that to be where I'm at today, and I'm so thankful for it. For real, for real, for real, for real. But so yeah, after that, I mean, time goes by, and then December comes, and there was a baptism service happening at church. And then me in my mind, I'm just like, baptism, like, why would I get baptized? Like, that's so extra. Like, I love God, but I'm not committing my whole life to Him. Like, it just sounded like such a serious, once you're in, you're not going out. And I'm just like, no, I want the comfort of going out in peace. I was just like, nah, maybe not. So then the baptism service happens. The first guy gets dipped in the water, and as he goes into the water, tell me why I just start crying. I'm like, no, 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 like I need to get baptized. It's so crazy, but I just knew in my heart this Holy Spirit came over me, and I just knew I need to get baptized. Like, this just needs to happen. So it was very spontaneous, right? So then it was only one guy meant to get baptized that day, and then the pastor called out, oh, is there any more people? And then 3 more people went before me, and one of them was giving us a ride back home, and I was telling Auntie, oh, I want to get baptized, but like my clothes are gonna get wet. And then when she saw the girl who was giving us a ride back home, she was like, oh, her clothes are gonna get wet too, so you don't have an excuse, right? So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm telling her all this while I'm crying, right? And then and then when they're about to like close in prayer, and they're about to be like, okay, well, so it was been a nice service, this and this, and then Audrey runs and she like tells them that like I want to get baptized. They're like, oh yeah, we have one more person. So I go on the stage, and they're like, tell us like why you chose to get baptized. And I was just breaking out in tears. Like, I really couldn't talk. I was just like so I get baptized, and it was like, wow, it was so beautiful. And I won't say I immediately saw an angel or I saw heaven. My life was brand new. No, like I was still living the same life, but I was just committed. I was just like, wow, like, God, for real, like I'm actually making this decision to follow you for real. I don't know when I'll get serious, but it's gonna happen. Right, so I get baptized, go back home. January came around. I'm still in that house. I'm still living for the world. Honestly, I can't even lie. January, February, March, April, kind of like the same thing. I'm growing in spirit. Like, I'll be fasting and stuff. I don't even remember what I'll be fasting about. Oh, I need to tell y'all this. So yes. So January, right, I was fasting about getting a job. So what I wanted was a job that's actually, no, that wasn't even January, that was September when I had just come. I prayed to God. I was like, God, I want a job that's service filled, a job that's well paying, and a job that's close to my house that I can go to easily without having to struggle to get a bus or anything, right? I prayed that prayer since September, and then I got this one job at the mall in like November. When I tell you I worked 2 shifts and I got fired, I wasn't even mad when I got fired. I wasn't even mad. I was just like, I know God has better for me. And I wasn't even a strong Christian by then. I was just like, I just know God has better for me. All those months go by. I'm still praying the same prayer because I'm just like, I know my God is faithful, and the Bible tells us to pray without ceasing. So I'm gonna keep on pressing, right? And then February comes along, and my friend is like, oh yeah, I got a job at this long-term care home, but I don't think you might not be able to get in because I'm a nursing major, and I think that's all they're taking. I'm just like, no, just give me the number, I'll call them. So I call them, and they're like, I'm like, oh, I heard you're hiring. Oh yeah, we are hiring. What's your name? I'm like, Serena, this and that. And they're like, oh, what's your major? I'm like, psych. And they're like, okay, do you want to have an interview tomorrow morning at 9 a.m? I said, okay, cool. Hang up the phone. 9 a.m. comes, they call me, and the interview was basically telling me, this is what you're gonna be doing, this is the documents that you need, just send us your resume. Basically got the job in a heartbeat. When I tell you, in a heartbeat, I was just like, y'all can't tell me that's not God. And when I tell you this job paid above minimum, like, so minimum wage is 15, so I was shooting for like $18. When I tell you the job paid 22, I said, God, hey. Mind you, this job is 10 minutes walk from my house. On a bus, it's 1 stop. Why are you taking the bus? Just walk. And I was just like, God, thank you so much, because wow, this was so worth it. The wait was so worth it. Yeah, so eventually the semester is done in April, and then it's time to move out of that place. I just knew I wasn't gonna stay in that place, but I wasn't making the conscious effort to look for a place to stay. I looked for a couple places to stay. It was terrible. I did that like for 3 weeks, and then I stopped, and I was just like, you know what, God, you do you. So I met this one girl, Desi. Y'all seen her in the last vlog. If you haven't, please go watch. Second time, I think, or third time I saw her, she was like, oh yeah, I'm actually moving to this house, and like, you should come visit it if you really want to leave, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, cool, I'll come visit it. But in my head, I'm just like, I'm so used to getting turned down by these houses, I can't even be bothered. So I get her number, she gets my number, and then it's around time to move out. And she texts me, she's like, oh, are you gonna come for the open house and visit it and stuff? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, like what do I need to text the lady first? And she's like, oh, just tell her that you're coming. I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, I really don't have the energy for that. So she typed up this whole paragraph for me, and I literally didn't even read it. I copy pasted and sent it to the landlord. I'm like, okay, cool. So I come, I visit the house is nice. I'm like, oh, this is cool, whatever. I still can't believe it though. I'm just like, not like in shock, like, oh, I can't believe it. But it's like, I'm just doing it and I'm not realizing it's happening, right? So then eventually move-in day happens. I move into the house. I'm like, what's this? So like, wow, like this actually happened? Like, it wasn't a thing of we're talking every day, we need to get this house. It was just once you're telling me about it, twice you're the one sending the text, basically. 3 times I come visit, 4th I'm already here, right? And the house, first of all, was so much less rent than where I was. Guys, it's just God. So much less rent than what I was paying. So beautiful. Like, I was just like, God, this like, stop it, like, come on now. But I just knew God was gonna deliver, right? Basically, May comes around, and then it's just me and Desi and my other roommate in the house at that time, because everyone I think was gone for summer. And then, wow, May, revival. I don't even know what to tell y'all. But May, I spent so much time with my roommate, who's very spiritually mature, by the way. A big shout out to my homegirl, Desi, because without you, baby girl, without God and you, we don't know where we would be. But she really encouraged me in a way that I never expected. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but like, I grew so much spiritually from the conversations that I would have with her. It's like, we'd have like late night conversations till like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. But it's not like, I'm bored, or like about like some shallow things, but it was always deep and always about God. And I'm not even a deep person, but you're making it deep and about God, like growth times 10. When I tell you my faith was rising, my curiosity, everything was just like changing about the way I saw God and the way the things in this world were related basically to spirituality, Christianity. Guys, I don't even know how to put it in words, but so many things changed, right? And I was just like, wow, this is beautiful. But I think before that, I was reading my Bible every day. But like, I think maybe like April, honestly, probably January, I was reading my Bible every day, but it wasn't like filling me up. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't like I was consciously reading it. I was just getting in the habit of it, right? So I was already in the habit of reading the Bible, but then now I became more intentional. May, June, July, yeah, basically. I started to pray more, like, purposefully, earnestly. Bro, like, I don't even know what to tell y'all for real, but that's where so much growth happened. Like, so much about me changed. I stopped listening to secular music, which, guys, you probably can't tell from my channel because I've been struggling to find gospel instrumentals. But ever since May, yeah, I stopped listening to secular music. The only time I would was on this channel when I'm making content, but that stops now, or it stopped yesterday. I think it stopped the previous video, but yeah, there's no compromise here. But yeah, that's a whole other story. I can tell you all about that and the relationship that I had with secular music. So yeah, I stopped listening to secular music. I think I stopped drinking alcohol. I don't really drink alcohol here, to be honest, because why? Like, there's really I don't have to explain it to you guys, but like, the life was just school, work, gym, home. And it's not like a sad, boring life. It was just like routine. So I think the last time I drank alcohol was like January this year. Yeah, probably. So that was that. And it wasn't like a thing of like I had to force myself. I was fighting it. It was actually the conviction from God that just was like, sis, this is not your life anymore. Like, why would you even do that? You know what I mean? So I just started to be more intentional, like, with my walk with God, be more intentional with my interactions with people, spend more time in prayer, like meaningful time in prayer, spend time worshiping, praising, surrounding myself with people of that kind of, you know, who have their faith growing too, right? And then I literally don't know what to tell you guys because there's so much that happened. Like I started to speak in tongues around that time too, which I was also like, did I not tell y'all at the start? I was just like, y'all so weird for speaking in tongues. Like, relax yourself. It's not that serious. Stop shouting. Stop. I became that person. I became that person, and it literally made me so happy. I'm just like, God, what? You're actually funny because what? What do you mean? But yeah, so that happened, and then summer I went back home. What happened when I went back home? I just started to see God in so many different things, guys. Like, it's so hard to put into words because so many things be happening, like so many good things, right, happen that I can't really sit down and tell you every little detail, right? But just know my faith was growing. I was growing closer to God. And actually, before all of this, I was put in this group chat where we'd pray like during the, not during the night. It would be 7 a.m. back home, but where I was at, it was always midnight. So I joined that group, and I would actually be there like praying with them too. That helped me grow a lot spiritually, for real, because yeah, it was just empowering. I don't even know how to put it into words, but that group, everything. But so yeah, over time I just started being more invested, seeking God's heart over his hand. Guys, just so many great things have been happening, and just this past week I was able to like fully hear God speak, because for the longest time I was just like, I want to hear God speak, like I want God to come and just be like, my daughter, you know, something dramatic, right? But it's just like I realized, whoa, God is actually talking to you, which this can also be another video because this is getting way too long. But yeah, I heard God speak very audibly about so many things, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so exciting, because that was my biggest prayer request coming into this school year 2021 to 2022, was just, I want to hear you speak to me specifically, because it's so easy to get caught up in what people have to say and what people think God is saying in the Bible verses that people are quoting. But if you don't see God for yourself, if you don't want to hear what God is saying about you, then where are you going? You're going where people think they're telling you to go. Like, guys, I actually have so much to say. I really have so much to say, but I'm just saying that I'm still growing. I'm so excited to be where I'm at today. I'm so thankful to God, and I feel beyond blessed to be able to even share this story with you guys. So please don't forget to show some love, and I can tell you guys so many more stories about my faith journey, many tips. But yeah, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Before I close off this video, I just wanted to let y'all know this verse that's on my mind. I don't remember where it is. I'll put it over here when I find it. But it basically says, seek me and you shall find me. Those who seek me wholeheartedly, earnestly shall find me. Guys, I can't quote it properly, but basically, if you really want God in your life and you seek him with your whole heart and genuinely, that's all it takes. That's literally all it takes, and a little bit of faith, and God is just gonna be there for you. So that's biggest advice, biggest tip, and I really hope you guys have a wonderful week, have a blessed